Welcome back from an action-packed weekend, from politics to sports to events all over the place. I believe in one way or the other, a lot really was happening, but I believe that in one way or the other, in your personal life and events that were all over the place, something kept you engaged at that. But starting off with sports, Uganda made it all the way to the quarterfinals when Senegal threw it off the cliff at the CHAN 2024 tournament. And in the Premier League, Arsenal scattered Leeds 5-0. Can you imagine? I know, right? 5-0. That was still on Saturday night, right? Just shortly after the CHAN game, I took time off to still follow up the Arsenal game, and yeah, it was amazing to watch. But looking at matters politics and specifically that is the National Executive Council meeting that was chaired by the President of Uganda at the State House, which saw events between Honorable Kadaga and Honorable Among, i.e. the former Speaker of Parliament and the current Speaker of Parliament, have events in between them, which led to the President eventually sending them off to be indeed judged officially by the SEC delegates that are convening this week on Wednesday and Thursday. But welcome to a fresh new week. This is UBC TV that you are watching, coming to you live from Nile Avenue, and the show is Good Morning Uganda. My name is Julie Nantabamsesi. I am with Robert Chirabo Nyonyi. Good morning, Robert. Oh,
good morning, Julie. Good morning, our viewer. I'm all smiles. Yes, the Cranes, it wasn't that what I expected.
But it was a good game.
It was a good game, yes. And I want to thank the boys. Thank you so very much. You did what you could.
I mean, playing the defending champions.
Playing the defending champions. We didn't get the 5-0, like, of course, my team disciplined another team. But I just pray that this season you sail through. You know, much as Arsenal is my team, we always start very well.
Yeah.
For the last, I think, 3 seasons, but we make bad endings or poor landing. So this time I pray that we shall make it. Ending up trophyless for us of Arsenal. Premier League maybe. It's not there is something we are getting used to, you know, but it's very bad to be complacent.
Yeah.
That yes, at least we were in the 5 top positions. We've been there. This time we want to take the Premiership and other trophies. And I pray. Ruben has a saying that it can't rain soda, and I see him moving through.
The one thing for sure is there's a lot more of the sports detail that Ruben will be giving us a little later on the show. What have you been looking at?
Well, all eyes are now at Korolo Ceremonial Grounds. If you passed through Korolo, you see the entire grounds painted yellow. Service providers are out there. Security is there. You know, if you go to the Nakawa Institute of Information, what are you going to find there? People lining up, lined in yellow, like the whole area is yellow, to be accredited. But also, yes, the meeting you just mentioned, where the party chairperson of NRM came up clearly and said, you know what, if two people fail to agree, you know, NRM is a party that has both consensus, but also democracy. Right. There's been a feeling by some members that, no, the party chairperson dictates. But you saw what happened between the two ladies seeking to be the leaders of women in the NRM, Honorable Rebecca Kadaga and Honorable Anita Among. Now, 2 things played out. That where consensus between these candidates has not worked out well, then they go for the voting. And I think this is a sign of mature democracy in this particular party, where someone is not coerced to step down, but it is sent to the people. However, this being good for party cohesion. So it is NRM. That is what I can say. It is the talk of the city. It is the talk of the country. We are going to have over 42 delegates in Korolo. That is a very huge number of people coming to Kampala. So it is the talk, and we can't wait to see what will be the outcomes of the particular people contesting. Because today, actually, there is elections today. NRM is having elections at Korolo today for special interest groups.
Right.
So that also is going to be a hard thing. Who takes that day? Special interest groups are also another group where NRM has, for a very long time, swept special interest groups. Check in Parliament, check everywhere. Those special interest groups, NRM does very, very well and so they mean a lot to the party today as they are going to be selecting their flag bearers, because precedent records have it that they have been able to consistently win special interest group election at majority of the levels, elective levels in this country.
Very interesting. Yes. And in some of the updates we have in other news, Uganda did mark a historic milestone in assisted reproduction. Mulago Specialized Women and Neonatal Hospital has successfully delivered its second baby through intravitreal fertilization, making it the first public hospital in the country to offer IVF services. That's good news.
And it's very interesting because we've had a number of families where the woman maybe has issues with her tubes. She can't have a baby. Now here, if she's tested, because there are some tests that are carried out and they see that she can handle, then the family, the couple, can be able to have a child. Right. But I'm happy Mulago has led, and there is one or two private institutions, hospitals, that are doing it here in Uganda.
True,
so we thank God for science, and we thank God for government investment, because Mulago is a public hospital. We thank God for the government being able to invest in this area. Some may not see it as vital. Let me tell you, it's very expensive to set up that center, the entire process. Now, a person who has had children by chance, not by choice, you know, things of God are funny. You find a poor man having so many children and is bothered with them. Then sometimes you find a blessed family and they don't have a child. So for people who have children the normal way, this may not be very relevant to them. Why would government invest so much money? But to people who've gone through this is a miracle, and more so those that couldn't even afford it for the private sector, for the private hospitals, and there is this opportunity by government.
Right.
It is a miracle.
Right, indeed. It is such good news. Now, what do you have for us with the local scene?
Oh, so many stories. And of course, the leading ones, NRM Delegates Conference. Now, let's kick it off where the NRM leaders have commended the decision taken by the Party Executive Council to send both Rebecca Kadaga and Annette Among and other SEC positions to be voted by delegates on Wednesday in Kololo after both refused to step down. They say it embraces democracy in national resistance movement. The NRM Delegates Conference that will seal the party's top leadership and flag bearers is slated for 27th and 28th August. That is Wednesday and Thursday. Still related, NRM delegates from across the country spent Sunday 24th at Uganda Institute for Information and Communication Technology in Nakawa, seeking accreditation for today's special interest groups elections. The exercise, which has peacefully moved, seems to have projected the Monday pace as very exciting. The entire area of Kolo Ceremonial Grounds was strictly under surveillance, and NRM Director for Information, Emmanuel Dombo, told UBC that all is set for today's elections at Kololo Ceremonial Grounds. Kololo Ceremonial Grounds and all areas and roads covering it have been painted yellow ahead of the NRM delegates meeting and conference. NRM party officials confirmed to UBC that the venue to accommodate over 45,000 delegates will be ready by today. The National Delegates Conference is scheduled for Kololo Independence Grounds. It is the first time the Independence Grounds is hosting the Delegates Conference. Service providers are putting their last touches to the venue. Over 20 large and small tents have been set up for voting, meetings, food, washrooms, health services, and the media. Screens have been set up at strategic locations for every delegate to be monitoring the event. Over 45,000 NRM delegates across Uganda, ranging from sub-county party chairpersons, district, city and municipal party chairpersons, members of parliament and flag bearers. The NRM Delegates Conference that will seal the party's top leadership and flag bearers is slated for 27th and 28th of this month. That is Wednesday and Thursday. Now, coming to the end of today's local stories, schools across Uganda have proved that education goes beyond books and classroom. Last week, students showcased their creativity, culture, and innovation at the National Secondary Schools Music, Dance and Drama Festival. The Permanent Secretary in the Ministry of Education, Dr. Kendres Tuliagenda, emphasized the importance of schools as centers for talent, creativity, and cultural promotion in addition to academic learning. Her speech, delivered by the Commissioner in the Ministry of Education, came at the conclusion of this year's National Secondary School Music, Dance and Drama Festival. The event was held under the theme, Greening Schools, Our Responsibility Towards the Environment. 30 schools from across the country competed in various categories, including folk songs, traditional dances, poems, and set pieces. Buddo Secondary School emerged overall winner, while host schools such as King's College Buddo and Trinity College Nabingo used the platform to demonstrate the relevancy of Uganda's competency-based new curriculum in fostering innovation. Trinity College Nabingo's head teacher, Immaculate Nasazi, said students' performance are proof of capacity to balance academics and core curricular activities. The festival ended with a call to prioritize creativity and innovation. Now, with the senior secondary schools competition, we come to the end of our local stories. I don't know if Julie, in school, you participated in some of these competitions.
A lot. It's from school, right from primary school, that I learned quite a number of traditional dances from my primary school. That did a lot of set pieces, took it on to high school.
Do you know what happened to me? One time there was a traditional, they call them, I think it was a folk song. And of course in our culture, I have these folk songs that praise the gods. Now I was given some part to act where it is somehow like you're possessed. Now my father brought his friends, my son. You know, parents were excited. Remember, he's a pastor.
And he did not know.
And I didn't tell him.
Oh, wow.
So I said, I want to tell you.
Oh my goodness, what conversation
all
did
through,
you have?
I was happy. You see your mom, dad are clapping, they are cheering. It's very important for parents to participate if they are called upon, to be your presence. So they were cheering me up. Now here I come. The music and dance teacher had it rough thereafter. Even me at home, you who praise, how dare you? But it was something to... Well,
at the end of the day, I understand him because it's telling a story, and a story impacts at the end of the day. Let's have a look at what we have on the global scene, starting off with France. France has summoned the U.S. Ambassador Charles Kushner after he wrote a letter to President Emmanuel Macron alleging Paris that had failed to do enough to stem anti-Semitic violence, a French Ministry of Foreign Affairs spokesman said. Kushner published the open letter in the Wall Street Journal on Sunday, in which he focused on France's criticism of Israel, which has been accused by leading rights groups of carrying out a genocide in Gaza, and its plans to recognize a Palestinian state. Public statements haranguing Israel and gestures toward recognition of a Palestinian state embolden extremists, fuel violence, and endanger Jewish life in France. He wrote, "In today's world, anti-Zionism is anti-Semitism, plain and simple." Paris was quick to respond to the ambassador. France firmly refutes these latest allegations. A foreign ministry statement said on Sunday, the allegations from the ambassador are unacceptable. France is fully committed to fighting anti-Semitism, the ministry added. The foreign ministry's statement also said that Kushner's comments went against international law, and in particular the duty not to interfere in internal matters of states by diplomatic personnel. Now let's have a look at what's happening between Russia and Ukraine. Both countries have each exchanged 146 prisoners of war after mediation by the United Arab Emirates. The Russian Ministry of Defense says about the latest in a series of exchanges that have seen hundreds of prisoners of war released this year. On August 24th, 146 Russian servicemen were returned from the territory controlled by Kiev, the ministry said on Telegram on Sunday. In exchange, 146 prisoners of war of the Ukrainian armed forces were transferred to Ukraine, it added. The ministry said that the freed Russians were in Belarus receiving psychological and medical care. Large-scale prisoner exchanges were the only tangible result of 3 rounds of talks between Russian and Ukrainian delegations in Istanbul from May to July, and they remain one of the few areas of cooperation between the two countries since Russia's war on its neighbor began in 2022. Russia also said 8 citizens of the Russian Federation residents of the Kursk region illegally detained by Kyiv were also returned as part of the exchange. Kursk sits on the border with Ukraine. Now coming to Africa, a group of human rights lawyers and NGOs are suing the Eswatini government for accepting 5 people deported by the United States. They say the secret deal with the US President Donald Trump's administrations to accept third country deportees is unconstitutional. In their legal challenge, they claim that the government violated due processes because it was not submitted to Parliament's approval. In addition, the jail where the men are being held is 190% over capacity, and they say no one has had access to the prisoners. The deportees from Vietnam, Jamaica, Laos, and Yemen, as well as Cuba, who Washington says are dangerous criminals, were flown into the country in July. Eswatini says that it's holding them in solitary confinement until they can be repatriated. Their imprisonment at the maximum security Matsafa Correctional Center has caused outrage in Eswatini, an absolute monarchy ruled by King Mswati III. The king previously said that the deportees pose no threat and that the agreement was based purely on its good relations with Washington. Now that brings us to the end of what we have on the foreign scene. Robert, I still wonder why though we receive, as Africans, we're receiving people who are deemed dangerous.
One,
by the US.
the benefits that come with these people.
And they dangerous to us?
That is an obvious thing, maybe one would say. But also, are we sure how they are deemed dangerous there? Indeed, they are dangerous.
There's that too?
You know? How they are deemed to be dangerous there. Are these people really dangerous people, or these are people who are seeking for greener pastures and they lacked what was needed? So definition of dangerous, I would put it in quotes.
It's relative.
I'll put it in quotes and also look at some benefits that come with us hosting these people. Remember when we expected the Afghan refugees.
Right.
And I saw excitement among Ugandans. They are coming. Then some say, but those refugees come really. So there are benefits. I hope that, and we will benefit from them. Because even the current refugees we are having in Uganda today, some people are saying there are benefits. Landlords are smiling. You know, they are paying a lot of money. They pay in time. You don't have issues with them, you know.
I see. Let's take a trip to what we have in the dailies today.
Oh, NRM makes the top stories here. NRM top organ to decide Amongi and Kadaga fate. Now, this was sent to the voters. And we have supplement raising millionaire creates 13,000 jobs. Who is that? You can get yourself a copy and know. Then more oil wells ready for production. Okay, that shows more money will be coming into Uganda as we export. Now, FDC manifesto key policies are analyzed. And how to comfort your baby. Then private chartered varsities hit 19. That is good news in Uganda. Because if a university has a charter that is given by His Excellency, of course after another processes go through, then it means so much. Now allow me, let Julie take us through what the rest of East Africa has for us, particularly Kenya and Tanzania.
Right, starting off with the Citizen, what CCM reshuffle means as campaign period draws closer. That's a headline in the Citizen. And in there is right at the top, Samia urges INEC to ensure fairness in general election. And also pitfalls of using border borders as school buses. Very interesting. I think that's a story that one would look out for. And wanted privacy at mobile money outlets. That is in the Citizen. Now quickly looking at the Daily Nation. And the headline there is how to clinch top school slot. Kenya National Examinations Council Chief Executive Officer Njerege David explains that Kenya Junior School Education Assessment will be a summative test accounting for 60% of the final marks of the grade 9, well as school-based assessments in grade 7 and 8 contribute to other 40%. Still in the Daily Nation is a story on Katiba at 15-day Kibaki Raila increased devolved units from 14 to 47, and Affordable Housing Fund to give 4 million shilling loans for building rural homes, and His Highness the Aga Khan in first official visit to Kenya. He arrives today at the invitation of President Ruto. Now looking at what we have in the Gazette as of the 22nd day of August 2025, there's a table of contents on there. And quickly going on to the general notices, there's the Marriage Act notice that recognizes a place of celebration for marriage, and that is the Church All Saints Church, Rukunjiri, Anglican denomination, Village Katenga, Rakabengo Ward and South Division Sub-County. Rukunjiri Municipality as the county and district is Rukunjiri as of the 12th day of August by Honorable Norbert Mao, Minister of Justice and Constitutional Affairs. And the other place of worship recognized to celebrate marriage is St. Andrew's Mauki Church of Uganda, Anglican denomination in Mauki East Village, Parish Mauki and Sub-County Kablasoke in County Gomba West, and the district is Gomba as of the 12th day of August 2025 by Honorable Norbert Mao, Minister of Justice and Constitutional Affairs. On that note, let's take a short break. When we get back in the real, we shall be having a conversation with Richard Todwong from the NRM, and a lot more to talk about as we look forward to the Delegates Conference, which is on Wednesday and Thursday. For now, enjoy some music from Naughty Boy, Should Have Been Me, featuring Kayla and Popcorn. Good morning, Uganda.
Live from UBC Studios in Kampala.
The Premier League, Arsenal scattered Leeds 5-0. Can you imagine? I know, right? 5-0. That was still on Saturday night, right? Just shortly after the Chan game, I took time off to still watch, follow up the Arsenal game, and yeah, it was amazing to watch. But looking at matters politics on the, and specifically that is the National Executive Council meeting that was chaired by the President of Uganda at the State House, which saw events between Honorable Kadaga and Honorable Among, i.e. the former Speaker of Parliament and the current Speaker of Parliament, have events in between them, which led to the President eventually sending them off to be indeed judged officially by the SEC delegates that are convening this week on Wednesday and Thursday. But welcome to a fresh new week. This is UBC TV that you are watching, coming to you live from Nile Avenue, and the show is Good Morning Uganda. My name is Julie Nantabamsesi. I am with Robert Chirabo Nyonyi Ntono. Good morning, Robert.
Oh, good morning, Julie. Good morning, our viewer. I'm all smiles. Yes, the Cranes, it wasn't that what I expected.
But it was a good game.
That was a good game, and I want to thank the boys. Thank you so very much. You did what you could.
I mean, playing the defending champions.
Playing the defending champions, we didn't get the 5-0, like, of course, my team disciplined another team. But I just pray that this season you sail through. You know, much as Arsenal is my team, we always start very well. For the last, I think, 3 seasons, but we make bad endings or poor landing. So this time I pray that we shall make it. ending up trophyless for us of Arsenal. Premier League maybe. It's not some... There is something we are getting used to, you know, but it's very bad to be complacent.
Yeah.
That yes, at least we were in the 5 top positions. We've been there. This time we want to take the Premiership and other trophies. And I pray, Ruben has a saying that it can't rain soda, and I see him moving through.
The one thing for sure is there's a lot more of the sports detail that Ruben will be giving us a little later on the show. What have you been looking at?
Well, all eyes are now at Koro Ceremonial Grounds. If you passed through Korolo, you see the entire grounds painted yellow. Service providers are out there. Security is there. You know, if you go to the Nakawa Institute of Information, what are you going to find there? People lining up, lined in yellow, like the whole area is yellow, to be accredited. But also, yes, the meeting you just mentioned, where the party chairperson of NRM came up clearly and said, you know what, if two people fail to agree, you know, NRM is a party that has both consensus but also democracy. Right. There's been a feeling by some members that no, the party chairperson dictates. But you saw what happened between the two ladies seeking to be the leaders of women in the NRM. Honorable Rebecca Kadaga and Honorable Anita Among. Now, two things played out. That where consensus between these candidates has not worked out well, then they go for the voting. And I think this is a sign of mature democracy in this particular party, where someone is not coerced to step down, but it is sent to the people. However, this being good for party cohesion. So it is NRM. That is what I can say. It is the talk of the city, it is the talk of the country. We are going to have over 42 delegates in Korolo. That is a very huge number.
Buy a 25-minute voice bundle for only 1,000, or buy any daily voice bundle of your choice. Dial *100 *21 hash and select daily, or use the MyNGN app. When we talk together, we are unstoppable.
My friend, I have made some good money today. It is time to relax and enjoy life.
Nice to hear that, Sim. Just give me some money.
Gino, let's go party. All the drinks and the muchomo are on me. I will crown the day with a babe to chill with before I return home. Let's enjoy ourselves. Life is too short.
You guy, you mean you want to take nothing home to your family? My friend, indulging in casual sex has become very risky and dangerous these days. There is HIV and what's still Mpox.
What are you saying, Gino? I use protection, a condom. Don't scare me.
Good. Condoms can protect you from HIV and other STIs, but not Mpox. If that person has the Mpox skin rash, he will also contract the disease Semu.
What?
Yes, Semu. And from there, you'll spread it to your loved ones, your lovely wife, and your children, who may suffer serious disease and even die.
Thanks, Gino. I heard about it earlier, but I just brushed it off as well. So I am cancelling this useless program and going home to my loved ones. Bye, Gino. Bye.
Good decision. You see, that is being responsible, Semu. Hey, by the way, before you go, just give me at least a 50k.
Mpox is real. Protect yourself and the loved ones. Stay safe and do not indulge in casual sex or other risky behaviors. For more information
about Mpox,
call a Ministry of Health toll-free line on 0800 1066 or send a free SMS to your report on 8500. This message is brought to you by the Ministry of Health
with support from UNICEF, WHO,
and its partners.
Live from UBC Studios in Kampala, this is Good Morning Uganda.
A very good morning to you, and always a good morning knowing that we are serving you, a Ugandan and a citizen of this nation, here from UBC TV. My name is Julie Nantaba Musisi. This is Good Morning Uganda, and I am with Robert Kirabo Nyonyintono. And this is the time for the real. If you started the show with us, thank you so much for being on. And if you're just joining in, you're welcome. This is Good Morning Uganda. And as always, at about this time, we have a conversation on different topics. Today, we are having a conversation on the NRM preparation preparations as they look forward, and as we all look forward to the delegates conference, which is happening on Wednesday and Thursday. But there are also special interest groups elections that are taking place today at Kololo, and so one other thing that we are looking forward to. Be a part of the conversation. 0709602592. So to have this conversation with us over the phone is Honorable Richard Todong. Good morning, Honorable.
Good morning, Julie, and good morning, Robert.
Right. Thank you so much for always taking time off to speak with us.
Thank you.
Right. Richard Todong is the Secretary General of the NRM party. And let's start off with what the significance is for today's special interest groups that are happening.
Maybe before I give you the significance of today's meeting, I need to run you through the journey of NRM from the time we started our grassroots activities for this period.
Right.
Because ours is seasonal. When we started the update of our members register, confirmation of the list of members in the register, we proceeded by structure elections of the party leaders from the grassroots to the district. We therefore went again to do elections of flag bearers from the village again up to the national level, members of parliament. And we went for expression of interest for the national leadership of the party. We went through that moment. We got our presidential flag bearer. We got our national chairman of the party who came and opposed through the process. We called for a meeting of the Central Executive Committee that vetted national leaders, and we went through the meeting of the National Executive Council, which also continued to vet the leaders. Today we are having a conference of the leagues. In the party we have close to 9 leagues. These are the Women's League, the Youth League, PWD League, Entrepreneurs League, Veterans League, Elderly Persons and Historical and Diaspora Leagues. So all these leagues are having their conference today to also elect their national leaders of the party and regional vice chairpersons and executives for the party. So it has been a busy period for us, and after today, tomorrow we are going to do accreditations for the main conference. That is now the final conference we shall be having in this season, which will consolidate all the internal activities as we now prepare for the general election, which starts next month, September. So that has been a very busy period for us up to now that we are moving. So yes, the party is active, and we are busy from the branch up to the national level.
Now,
that is what is happening today.
Honorable, thank you for taking us through that process, and I want to congratulate NRM so far, the journey they have walked. It's really been a very huge process for one to handle. Now, as the Secretary General of the party, despite having congratulated the party, you began with the update of your voters register as a party. But Honorable Todong, one thing is, there's always this issue of the register coming up at every step, at every voting election. I don't know, maybe this time with the delegates conference it's going to be perfect, where you hear someone say, don't add people in the register. Now, this is a process that took you time. You did it, someone think it was done and dusted. Why do we still have complaints centered over the register?
That is true, that's correct. Of course, you should expect that complaint for the register, because the register by its nature is constant, it's not static. Constant in the sense that the ages for people who qualify to enter the register keeps changing, especially the minimum age of requirement, because we register from 16 up to going onwards. But when we are extracting the voters register from the members register, we only cut off from 18 years and above who qualifies to be voters. So every year, every month, every time, those who are below 18 are always qualifying to become members with the rights to vote and participate in the party. And that makes the register dynamic, and the work on the register is a continuous work. We don't close because we have now done the update, now we have closed. From the time we closed our activities on the register to this day that we are talking, I'm sure there are many young people who have qualified to become voters in the party. So at the right time again, we shall open window to absorb other new people who have got into the voting age. Now, as to whether names are decided, of course, being a mass party with the activities at all levels of the society up to the base, the grassroots, the village, up to the national level, you expect a lot of internal contradictions among members, among leaders. The push and pull issues are there because of individual differences. We understand that, and that makes the party more dynamic and more vibrant because of such internal friction, which are not in any way dangerous to the health of the party. They are only helping the party to keep active.
Right. Thank you very much, Honorable. Now, you've rightfully and properly described for us how your roadmap has moved from the start up to where we are now and up to where we are going, which is beautiful. Now, I would like to know, how do these elections contribute to the overall democratic process of the NRM party?
Not only for the NRM party, it contributes 98% of the democratic process of the country.
Right.
The NRM is the biggest contributor to candidates to national election. And if anything goes on wrong in NRM, the national election will have issues. So we need to fix NRM right for us to have the national election right. Because, for example, there is no party in Uganda that has had candidates running for LC1 election all over the country apart from NRM. We already have our flag bearers at village level. There is no party in the country that has had flag bearers for LC2s. We already have flag bearers for LC2s. There are no parties in Uganda that have flag bearers for LC3s. The NRM has flag bearers, including councillors for LC3s. There is no party. So the structure is like that. So by the time Electoral Commission call for election under a multi-party political dispensation, the parties present candidates for these campaigns. And therefore, our candidates are across from the grassroots to the national level. Now, this makes it very, very peaceful for the national election, because under a multi-party political dispensation, political parties must participate in all levels of election. Many of these parties that you hear about sponsor candidates in one constituency, in a region, 2, 3. So actually they are not even, they are just an organization of individuals. They are not a political party, I would say. Because a political party must have a vision, purpose, and membership that cuts across all categories of society. And that is what NRM represents.
Now, Honorable, having talked really
Shaking tables.
shaking tables.
Yes.
These are political parties registered with the Electoral Commission.
No, but our delegates conference you have seen, the whole week, Kampala is busy.
Yes, 45.
The whole week, and up to the end of this week, today is Monday, up to the end of the week, Kampala is busy.
No, it means a lot, because
this has given business to Kampala. It has kept Kampala yellow. They used to say Kampala is not for NRM. Now Kampala, every corner of Kampala is yellow. So when we relax, we keep calm, we should not be provoked. When NRM wakes up, you see how active it gets. And so, yes, we are participating fully in the national curriculum, and we shall present our presidential flag bearer, we shall present our members of parliament, our LC5 chairpersons, we shall present all levels of leadership. We have candidates already.
Now, Honorable, let's look at, just take you back, what happened at the Executive Council meeting. And for some members of the party, they seem worried. Where we saw the Right Honorable Anita Among and Right Honorable Rebecca Alitwala Kadaga, these two failing one to step down for the other, and being sent now for the delegates conference. How these elections, much as it's a success according to you, but don't you think there is a damage, and how are you going to control this damage? Because for particular positions, most of sake, some people mean a lot in case they lose.
There is no permanent condition, and by nature there is always a movement. When we express interest, we call for the expression of interest. We did not close out some people. The expression of interest was open to all party members for all party positions, including the national chairman's position, by the way. Fortunately, the members of the party themselves were the ones who have this time round called upon the national chairman to present himself. So his candidature has been a demand from the party members for both being the chairman of the party and the presidential flag bearer. So that was how he came unopposed, because the members demanded for him to come and offer himself. Now, other positions, including the first national vice chairman's position, there were candidates. The second national vice chair, female, there are candidates, and all others for the SEC members. This was discussed, the expression of interest was done, nominations were held, and then the Central Executive Committee held a meeting and invited all these candidates. They presented themselves to SEC. SEC went through the list. SEC gave them time to harmonize themselves, to talk to one another, because now the party at that level cannot force any candidate to step down for the other. They are all members of the party and they are all taken equally before the party. But we allow internal conversation among candidates if they can allow to harmonize themselves to present only one person. Others have been doing that and other members have been stepping down, but others have refused. So the Central Executive Committee forwarded list of those who are still in the race to the NEC. Now NEC, which sat at Entebbe, went through the list and equally gave room that if there is anybody among the candidates who is still willing to step down, the floor is open, come and announce. All of them say, take us to the national conference. And indeed, NEC resolved that all candidates must be taken to the national conference, and which is now the final stage. So the national conference of Wednesday, the 27th, will receive the report of NEC, and therefore the report of NEC will now help the conference to decide on what to do with all the candidates. And the end of it is we shall, of course, go for voting to decide. And that is how beautiful it is in NRM. Now, for those of you who might think that this is not a good move, a forest is a forest because of short and tall trees. Both the young, the old, the women, the disabled, the characteristics of NRM absorbs everybody. It is like a Christianity. When you become born again, the day you accept Jesus Christ in your life, you are a full Christian. And that is how NRM is. So evangelization of Christianity, the party mirrors evangelization process. That from the time you accept NRM, we believe you are a fully member of NRM with equal rights like any other person. So there is no ring fencing of any position. We compete democratically and the party members will decide. We always allow the party members to decide on their leaders. And that is how we have kept the revolution strong, and it has been above all shocks that we could have gone through because of being flexible and dynamic and following democratic principles, which is one of the key pillars of our movement.
Right. Now, still, let's stay a bit with what happened at the NEC. Now, what's making news all over the media and everywhere is definitely what transpired between Honorable Kadaga and Honorable Among, as well as the President. But were there any other resolutions that were reached at the NEC meeting on Saturday? But also, as we look forward to Wednesday and Thursday, what's the main agenda of the delegates conference? And you talked about accreditation. Who is accredited to convene for Wednesday and Thursday?
Well, NEC, of course, made tough resolutions on very pertinent issues in the party. NEC got concerned, the party leadership got concerned about the use of money, too much money in internal elections, corruption which is coming, criminal activities which are being seen in the party, the elements of tribal sentiment that seems to be coming up, and religious affiliation. Those are the things that NEC was very tough on, and NEC agreed that the disciplinary committee of the party should be reactivated so that some of these issues are handled at all levels immediately through the disciplinary committee of the party. We always believe in fair hearing, and therefore we believe that those who have complaints about anything should present them officially, and the party will investigate, and these matters are put to rest. Now, about who qualifies to come to the 27th of this month conference, the main conference, the list is out there. Of course, the conference is very clear. It has the national chairman, the first national vice chairman, the second national vice chairperson of the party. It has the regional, all SEC members, all NEC members. It has flag bearers for members of parliament. it has a LC5 chairman for districts, and then it also has executive members of the leagues from the district level to the national level, and then it has members of East African Legislative Assembly and the chairpersons of the branch, which is the sub-county conference. All chairpersons of sub-counties are members of the conference. So all of them are coming, and tomorrow we are doing their accreditation so that they attend the meeting on Wednesday and close on Thursday.
Now, Honorable Todong, I'm just looking at 45,000 people in Kololo for the delegates conference Wednesday and Thursday, and your voting procedure is lining up. Well knowing that these are going to be so many people, how are we going, a position that say has 11 candidates? You know,
the 45,000 people are not coming at once. That is into two phases. Today, definitely we are going to get close to 23,000 people because of the leaks. And after today, there are members who will return home because they don't qualify to move to the next phase. Then others are going to be accredited for the next phase, which is on Wednesday. So every meeting, every conference, we have between 20,000 people coming. So that makes a total of course, 40,000 people collectively. But others are repetitive. Those who come today are also coming to the next conference. So we shall manage, and today's voting is through the leagues. The different leagues will have their own meetings and they will vote within their leagues. So it is not a general meeting for voting. But the general one will be on Wednesday, where the national leadership of the party will be voted by everybody. And therefore that is when all the candidates will be voted for by all the delegates. But we shall manage, and we have always done that. It's easier to handle than anything else.
Let's look at the issues of money and claims or allegations that some delegates are being hidden on islands, others even outside of this country, and even money on that particular day at Kololo. This is a very big number. Call it 20,000. Being at Kololo still is a very big number. Issues of bribery have come up so much here. Let's look at these two things: bribery, hiding delegates.
Yes, the party discussed that at length. It is a danger to the party, not only to the party, but to the nation, when our politics is heavily commercialized. Because then people vote for money, they don't vote for quality of the candidate, the leaders they need. And the party is going to take very drastic steps towards correcting that. And on that, we are not going to mix our words, and we are not going to shy away from punishing wrong culprits. The only strength that we shall have is when we punish wrong things, and people should learn that punishment is part of correction that we need if an organization is supposed to be strong. And therefore, yes, discipline is paramount, following the rules and making sure that everybody is right. The other one is, of course, to make sure that the process is free and fair, so that those who are disadvantaged, those who do not have money, the kind of money others have, should also have the chance to run and be leaders in the party and in the country. And that is the way the national chairman is thinking, that give chance to everybody. We don't qualify, because he reminded us in the meeting that what took the revolutionaries to the bush was because of misconduct of leaders in election. When UPC rigged the votes of DP, gerrymandering of constituency, declaring wrong people, and all that kind of electoral multi-practices. And that should not be the thing NRM should be encouraging, because that touches on the core value of NRM, because NRM fought for rights, fought for righteousness, making sure everybody is free to exercise their right and the right results are declared. So when we start seeing such happening in NRM, definitely you know it is touching the wrong button. The revolutionary cadres of the party are still there. They cannot allow such to happen in the organization that they have built for years and years. So that will be handled, and definitely it will be handled firmly. Believe me, you, the national chairman, when it comes to certain core values, is very firm. He is a parent who does not spare the rod. He both uses the rod and the stick, a carrot approach, in making sure the organization is brought to order. So that will be handled, and I'm sure, I am confident that the party will come up with strongly against such things. Right. And so for those who are coming to vote today, we want to give you free and fair environment to express yourselves to the voters and let the voters decide. Nobody is going to be coerced. Yes, we have had cases of delegates being taken out of the country. Yesterday we had cases of Entrepreneurs League. Some members' cards were being taken to some candidates, and the candidates were only releasing your card if you go to their camp. So we are investigating all this. We had this through rumors, and we are going to investigate all this, and we are not going to allow anybody to be disenfranchised from this exercise.
Right. Thank you so much, Honorable Richard Todong. He is the Secretary General of the NRM Party, and we are looking at all matters today: special interest groups elections, the upcoming delegates conference, but also events that transpired on Saturday at the NEC meeting with the President at State House. Now, Honorable Kadaga did raise a few issues at the NEC, and she was quoting and citing the constitution of the NRM. One would wonder, is there a chance that at the delegates conference there shall be amendments made with the NRM constitution?
The law requires that for any amendment of the constitution, a notice must be put 1 month in advance. The notice of amendment must have been put together with the notice the national chairman used to call on the conference. So yes, there is need to amend the constitution, but that is a process that we should start, and we might have to use it in another conference, not in this conference.
Right.
Honorable Todong.
Yes.
So far, we must say, yes, you've had the elections as programmed that you're supposed to have. But let's look at the aftermath. How are you prepared? Because this is external democracy, but then you're going to verse other political parties' candidates at the end of the day. But we see issues like Honorable Sechkubo leaving the party. We're seeing, we don't know what may come out of the delegates conference. Maybe we shall see others. We still have those that have wounds and bruises over the parliamentary primaries. So do you have plans for the aftermath of those disgruntled, those leaving the party, those joining other parties to discipline their own party because they believe it disowned them at a time when they needed it more?
Yeah, that is true. At the right time, definitely the party is having a chance of sending eminent members of the party and leaders of the party to the countryside to speak to our members who were totally divided due to the many internal elections we have gone through. There is a need to reconcile members, so we shall be having meetings at district level to meet our party leaders at the district level, if possible, if time permits. But that is already something which is on the table. We have already proposed that, and there are some serious senior members of the party and historical members of the party, with the permission of the national chairman, we shall be able to send them to the various districts to reconcile our party members, for them to understand that the party interest is bigger than individual interest. You don't come to campaign because of personal interest, but to represent the party. So if the party is calling upon you to reconcile, to let go of the individual personal problems, you should listen if you are a loyal cadre of the party. This insisting on things which are wrong and yet you know you're also wrong is terribly wrong for an organization. And that is where we need to put order in the party, that if we have gone through an election and there was a tribunal to review what happened in the election, and the tribunal has given results, and you still insist that it should have been you, not the other, then you are a wrong character for the party. And so some of these things we need to be tough and be honest to our people to know. And by the way, let me remind you, even if in my language we say, you know, we live in a grass thatch houses. If one grass gets out of the roof of the grass thatch house, that does not mean the house will leak. The house will still be firm. So if one person decides to leave the party, he or she is not living with the party. The party is in the people, is in the members. The members in that particular constituency and area will get another person to replace that person. And so this blackmail of it's either me or the party loses in my area, the party loses in my place. No, in the past, in some constituencies, we even declined to give our flags to candidates. Not that we cannot give, but because of internal frictions in constituencies, create more conflicts among our members, we refuse to give our party flags to individuals. So some of those things, we know the members love the party, but the leaders would like to pull them away. But the party will not go because of personal intentions or individuals. So yes, we shall try the first phase to reconcile members, to talk to them, and give them option to work together.
Right. Thank you so much, Honorable. Could you please give us your parting shots?
Thank you so much, UBC, and thank you, Ugandans who are watching us, and to party members who are coming for the meeting. I'm already being informed that Kololo is getting crowded. The gates are open. Delegates are already arriving. Because they arrive, we take them through breakfast. They are going to have breakfast. And then those with the mothers, we have a corner for breastfeeding mothers where children are going to be resting. Those who are not feeling well, we have a medical camp. There are doctors and nurses who are waiting for them. So we are prepared for the conference, a conference of 20,000 people. We are fully prepared. So we are waiting, and thank you so much. We wish you all the best. Those who are candidates, campaign with decency, respect each other, respect the party, and let us be civil in our actions.
All right, thank you very much, Honorable. That has been the Secretary General of the NRM Party speaking with us here on UBC TV on Good Morning Uganda on today's Reel. And I'll close this with some of your comments, really. And Chabet says hello. Hello to you too, Chabet. Thank you so much for watching. And Omgaga Saurembo, you say Nze Omgaga Saurembo Enabweru Councillor Adako Kazo Muganzirwaza, and you say Kwendi. Thank you so much for always watching us and being a part of the show. That's it for today's Reel. Up next is GMU Tourism Express. We do have business, we do have the agenda, we do have sports, we have a lot, and of course we do have GMU Extras. So there's a lot to get your day started. Good morning.
Live from UBC Studios in Kampala, this is Good Morning Uganda.
Taxation is a bit complicated, and the only way to demystify it and make it as easy to understand and to comply with is through engagement. Is there a limit to the number of cars a returning citizen is bringing into Uganda? Who has paid the excise duty on this water is not the supermarket which has sold you this bottle at 1,000. It's not the business. It is the man who is going to drink this water. We strongly believe that it will only be through such constructive engagement that we'll be able to broaden our tax base and build our country together.
Buza Commissioner. Now you can get direct answers. Send your tax-related questions via WhatsApp or SMS to 0790-141-887, and the Commissioner General of URA, John Musinguzi, will personally address them. Tune in to UBC News Tonight every Monday and Wednesday for expert insights and clear explanations. Buza Commissioner.
Juko. Yo. Check the shopping, man. What's your secret?
Haven't you heard of the parish development model PDM?
Yes, I did, but I thought it was just a talk.
No, Sebatia. It is real. I and a few friends together formed a circle, accessed money from the PDM, invested in a poultry project, and now things are moving.
Juko. I thought I was one of your friends.
You are.
But you left me behind.
I didn't leave you in poverty. What you do, just visit your LC2 chairperson and your parish chief and start the process of economic transformation. Just like that. The parish development model is an initiative from the government of Uganda through the Ministry of Local Government designed to transform all lives of Ugandans for the better. PDM, my parish, my development, my life.
This August, East Africa becomes the center of African football. CHAN 2024 is here, and it's bigger than ever. 3 proud nations, Kenya, Tanzania, and Uganda, united by football, passion, and power. From the first whistle to the final roar, 35 thrilling matches, live, only on UBC TV and radio stations. Wherever you are in Uganda, from the city to the village, UBC brings CHAN 2024 to your screen and your radio. August 2nd to August 30th, it's football like never before. 1 tournament, 1 region, 1 heartbeat. CHAN 2024, live on UBC. Feel the game, live the glory.
Live from UBC Studios in Kampala, This is Good Morning Uganda.
Brought to you by Uniquely Ours. Explore Uganda.
Juliana, I've really seen you day and night. I don't know whether your husband is not complaining. Because you're everywhere. Now you're in Kasese. I think tomorrow you'll be in Karamoja. You may get problems very soon. But at least now you can see Uganda's visibility. Yes. Because Uganda Tourism Board is supposed to be the face of Uganda. When we talk about exploring Uganda, let us show what people should explore. And I think you are doing it very well. And I have liked that type of partnership. Because that's what those people like Obita who have attended meetings where I am, I don't see why government is working in silos. I don't like it. I don't see why UCC should close UBC for non-payment of license. I say, where are you putting the money? You are closing UBC, but you are collecting that money, putting it on the consolidated fund. And UBC is getting that money from consolidated fund. And then I say, what is this? I don't like it. But now I'm happy that UTB can work with NITAU. And you cooperate, and then Ministry of Tourism. And then Ministry of Tourism patterns with the private sector. Taskalai to Renzori Marathon. This is UBL, this is the Ministry of Tourism, this is UTB.
Juliana Kagwa from Uganda Tourism Board, standing here today at the Chikorongo Equator en route to Kasese, the Renzori Marathon. Really excited to be announcing the launch of free Wi-Fi courtesy of the government of Uganda today in conjunction with NITAU. This is a project that has started and will continue. We've been at it for a while, but today is evidence, is a testimony to what can happen when 2 or 3 strong government agencies come together. So this is a collaboration between NITAU, Uganda Tourism Board, Uganda Wildlife Authority, Ministry of Tourism, Wildlife and Antiquities, coming together to make sure that visitors to this part of Uganda can enjoy free Wi-Fi, upload their experiences in real time, invite others to come down to what we are calling now the Renzori Tourism Destination.
My name is Richard Obita. I am the Director of Technical Services with National Information Technology Authority, Uganda, representing our ED at this event where we are launching the free Wi-Fi at the equator here in Kasese, Chikorongo. We want to thank the government, of course, through the Minister of ICT for giving us this opportunity to partner with UTB, Uganda Wildlife Authority, Minister of Tourism and Antiquities for this great opportunity. We've collaborated in terms of connectivity, and tourism is actually one of those sectors that is very critical for our country. So we've supported it in terms of enhancing connectivity in this place. The tourists can then be able to instantly share pictures, live videos, and it is free Wi-Fi at this location. It's going to be 24 hours.
I'm the Chief Park Warden of Queen Elizabeth Conservation Area, but as I stand now, I'm my Executive Director, Uganda Wildlife Authority, is on the way for tomorrow's program. I think maybe later you can interface with him for more information. But I personally, on this project, I'm really very excited when we learned of this program, and we are totally into it.
Ladies and gentlemen, my name is Kabyanga Godfrey Baluku, and I emphasize Baluku Chime. And I'm State Minister for Information, Communication Technology and National Guidance. First of all, I bring you apologies from my senior minister
the Honorable Dr. Chris Variumusi, MP, who is in Kampala now. He would have loved to be here. Then my colleague, the Honorable Joyce Sebugwa, State Minister, is not feeling well. He has not been feeling well of late. So that's why I'm here alone. But I also bring apologies from the Minister of State for Tourism, Honorable Martin Mugara. We were together the whole of yesterday in Kagadi. He stayed in Fort Portal. I thought he would be here by now, but he tells me he had another commitment in Toroko. So he has delayed a bit. Let me first of all thank all of you for coming to witness this very, very important milestone. You know, when they were introducing NITA, they called them enablers, and you clapped for them. But let us clap for the chief enabler, President Yoweri Museveni. Yeah. Indeed, NITA, are enablers. But the chief enabler who has made this happen is President Yoweri Museveni. And I think all of you can now bear witness to why we saved NITA. You know, all companies were rationalized, and NITA was on the list. But we struggled to save it for another 3 years because we had several projects that we wanted to first accomplish. And I thank you for leaving to the task, because now people can understand why we still said for you can remain for 3 years. And then I congratulate Juliana for raising to that task. And I would like to say, both of you, I think you deserved those promotions and postings. Juliana, I've really seen you day and night. I don't know whether your husband is not complaining. Because you are everywhere. Now you're in Kasese. I think tomorrow you'll be in Karamoja. You may get problems very soon. But at least now you can see Uganda's visibility. Yes. Because Uganda Tourism Board is supposed to be the face of Uganda. When we talk about exploring Uganda, let us show what people should explore. And I think you are doing it very well. And I have liked that type of partnership, because that's what those people like Obita who have attended meetings where I am, I don't see why government is working in silos. I don't like it. I don't see why UCC should close UBC for non-payment of license. I say, where are you putting the money? You are closing UBC, but you are collecting that money, putting it on the consolidated fund. And UBC is getting that money from consolidated fund. And then I say, what is this? And that's work of UTB. It's work of Ministry of Tourism. So join them. And I would like to congratulate that partnership, and I want it really to continue. We as government, we shall ensure there is peace and security. We shall ensure we get money, give it to NITA to improve the infrastructure. And we shall ensure there is money for UTB to invest in more visibility. More visibility. You know, there are some things which are really funny. If you go to Addis, I'll give you an example of Addis, because that's what I've experienced that. And you want to use free internet, you must first watch, I think it is a 2 minutes video. You cannot access free internet without watching that video. You're getting it? Because if you want to watch free internet, then you watch. You have to wait for, I think it's either 1 minute or something. Then after that, even if you force it, you will not. Exactly, you will not, you can't forward. So those are things now, that's technology. But that's something which we need to leverage. And now that's why I thank UTB working with NITA. Because even here, to access that Wi-Fi, You first watch one national park at least. You first watch elephants and lions. Yes, for about a minute, and then that's when you can access what? Free Wi-Fi. And those are things which can be done. But they can only be done if government is working together and collaborating.
Brought to you by Uniquely Ours. Explore Uganda.
Live from UBC Studios in Kampala, this is Good Morning Uganda.
Good morning to you. Thank you so much for watching UBC TV. Now, to strengthen the Rwenzori region's tourism sector competitiveness in both domestic and international markets, the Uganda Tourism Board launched the Rwenzori Tourism Destination Management Plan last week. And this plan is designed to guide tourism development, investment, and planning efforts aimed at unlocking the region's full tourism potential, and part of it is what we've just seen. That is the free Wi-Fi at Chirongo Equator in Kasese. Welcome back from that story and that news piece of the GMU Tourism Express, and always brought to you by the Uganda Tourism Board. Good morning, Uganda. Now, time for business. My name is Julie Nantala-Musisi, and we are looking at the story of the proprietor of Prof Bioresearch, Professor Julius Nyanzi, who has vowed to mobilize Ugandans to enter the industrial revolution. Now, Professor Nyanzi told the UBC that other avenues remain open because the industrial revolution opens up cottage industries and takes individual families into value addition. In every nation, development is gauged by level of industrialization, and industries facilitate value addition to resources. In Uganda, there are many resources like plants, leaves, and crops like ginger, coffee, jatropha leaves, that this task has been taken off on by Professor Bioresearch, renowned entrepreneur Professor Julius Nyanzi, who has fronted machinery to facilitate the process of industrialization. Prof Bioresearch trains individuals value addition to enable everybody enters the production value chain. Let's move on. A Give Back to Loyal Customers campaign through luxury has been launched between MTN and Turkish Airlines. The Fly Prestige with Turkish Airlines is a campaign open to all MTN Uganda prepaid customers aged 18 years and above who are on the MTN Prestige profile. MTN Uganda has partnered with Turkish Airlines to launch a Give Back to Customer campaign coded Fly Prestige with Turkish Airlines. The campaign offers opportunity to win free round-trip air tickets to destinations across the globe. The Turkish ambassador to Uganda said the partnership will reinforce the airline's commitment to deliver excellent service. Fly Prestige with Turkish Airlines is in line with MTN Uganda's 2025 strategy to deliver a leading digital and lifestyle service. I think that's something I'd look forward to. Anyways, let's move on to matters fish farming. And Ugandan fish farmers must innovate and add value to their products in order to tap into the global market value of fish that is priced at over $170 billion at the launch of the Mashida Foods factory along Mitiana Road. Ramadan Gobi, the permanent secretary at the Ministry of Finance, emphasized on value addition in the entire agricultural sector. Mashida Foods' flagship factory services its large-scale aquaculture catfish farm in Wakiso district along Mitiana Road. Mashida has specialized on catfish rearing for local consumption and export. The permanent secretary at the Ministry of Finance, Ramadan Gobi, launched the fish processing factory and called for innovation in the aquaculture sector to tap into lucrative global fish markets. Valued at $170 per annum. The director of Mashida Foods, Marvin Luasa, noted that the company delivers high-quality fresh catfish products to set the standard of excellence in fish processing. Catfish rearing has gained ground for farmers to rival the tilapia and Nile perch fish species. Well, now let's have a look at what we have in the forex rates as of 22nd August 2022, and the US dollar opened at 3,562.45 buying and was selling at 3,572.55. By midday, it had dropped to 3,559.82 and selling at 3,569.82, and closed in at 3,557.09 and was selling at 3,567.09. The British pound was buying at 4,763.29, and that is at its closing, and it was selling at 4,776.69. The euro was buying at 4,120.71 and selling at 4,132.29. The Kenyan shilling was at 27.52 and selling at 27.59, and the Tanzanian shilling shot up to 1.42 and selling at the same 1.42, and the South African rand was buying at 200.45 and selling at 201.01. Well, that's it for JMU Business this morning. Good Morning Uganda does continue, and up next we have the agenda where we shall be looking at the state of the roads in Uganda with the Ministry of Works and Transport. 0709602592 is the WhatsApp number that you should save and engage questions to the guests that we have in studio today. Good morning.
Live from UBC Studios in Kampala, this is Good Morning Uganda.
Pick of the day on UBC. Was brought to you by
I'll call you every day, yeah yo, baby dondolo.
You can now get all the Chibuzi out with MTN voice bundles. Call all networks Kubei Dondoro. Buy a 25-minute voice bundle for only 1,000 or buy any daily voice bundle of your choice. Dial *100 *21# and select daily or use the My MTN app. When we talk together, we are unstoppable.
Taxation is a bit complicated, and the only way to demystify it and make it as easy to understand and to comply with is through engagement. Is there a limit to the number of cars a returning citizen is bringing into Uganda? Who has paid the excise duty on this water is not the supermarket which has sold you this bottle at 1,000. It's not the business, it is the man who is going to drink this water. We strongly believe that it will only be through such constructive engagement that we'll be able to broaden our tax base and build our country together.
Buza Kamiso now. Now you can get direct answers. Send your tax-related questions via WhatsApp or SMS to 0790-141-887, and the Commissioner General of URA, John Musinguzi, will personally address them. Tune in to UBC News Tonight every Monday and Wednesday for expert insights and clear explanations. Boozer Commissioner.
My friend, I have made some good money today. It is time to relax and enjoy life.
Nice to hear that, Semu. Just give me some money.
Gino, let's go party. All the drinks and the muchomo are on me. I will crown the day with a babe to chill with before I return home. Let's enjoy ourselves. Life is too short.
You guy, you mean you want to take nothing home to your family? My friend, indulging in casual sex has become very risky and dangerous these days. There is HIV and what's still Mpox.
What are you saying, Gino? I use protection, a condom. Don't scare me.
Good. Condoms can protect you from HIV and other STIs, but not Mpox. If that person has the Mpox skin rash, he will also contract the disease Semu.
What?
Yes, Semu. And from there, you will spread it to your loved ones, your lovely wife, and your children, who may suffer serious disease and even die.
Thanks, Gino. I heard about it earlier, but I just brushed it off as well. So I am cancelling this useless program and going home to my loved ones. Bye, Gino. Bye.
Good decision. You see, that is being responsible, Semu. Hey, by the way, before you go, just give me at least a 50K.
Mpox is real. Protect yourself and the loved ones. Stay safe and do not indulge in casual sex or other risky behaviors. For more information about Mpox, call the Ministry of Health toll-free line on 0800 1066 or send a free SMS to your report on 8500. This message is brought to you by the Ministry of Health with support from UNICEF, WHO, and its partners.
This August, East Africa becomes the center of African football. CHAN 2024 is here, and it's bigger than ever. 3 proud nations, Kenya, Tanzania, and Uganda, united by football, passion, and power. From the first whistle to the final roar, 35 thrilling matches, live, only on UBC TV and radio stations. Wherever you are in Uganda, from the city to the village, UBC brings CHAN 2024 to your screen and your radio. August 2nd to August 30th, it's football like never before. 1 tournament, 1 region, 1 heartbeat. CHAN 2024, live on UBC. Feel the game, live the glory.
Juko.
Yo.
Check the shopping, man. What's your secret?
Haven't you heard of the parish development model PDM?
Yes, I did, but I thought it was just a talk.
No, Sebatia. It is real. I and a few friends together formed a circle, accessed money from the PDM, invested in a portrait project, and now things are moving.
Juko. I thought I was one of your friends.
You are.
But you left me behind.
I didn't leave you in poverty. What you do, just visit your LC2 chairperson and your parish chief and start the process of economic transformation. Just like that. The parish development model is an initiative from the government of Uganda through the Ministry of Local Government designed to transform all lives of Ugandans for the better. PDM, my parish, my development, my life.
In a nation hungry for truth, a world where every story matters, there exists a beacon of trust and reliability. For decades, they've been our voice and our window to the world, holding the mirror of our history. With 4 TV stations and 11 radio channels spanning 27 languages, they stand as guardians of information, defenders of truth. With Mascari Heritage Advantage, they uphold every citizen's right to reliable and free information. Their archive stories shaped our past and illuminate our present. Yet now, as new challenges arise and the world evolves, their mission faces its greatest test yet. Be part of our journey and let's navigate the unknown, uncover the untold, and safeguard our future together. Tune into your public broadcaster, for it is the intersection of trust and truth. Because to UBC, your story, and every voice matters. UBC, inspiring Uganda.
I'd love to take this opportunity to thank our President, Yoweri Kaguta Trihabura Museveni, by coming up with a Myoga program. We started
Live from UBC Studios in Kampala, this is Good Morning Uganda.
A very good morning to you. Thank you so much for watching UBC TV, and thank you so much if you've started the show with us right from where we started. Thank you so much for being on the show, and if you're just joining in, you're welcome. This is Good Morning Uganda. My name is Julie Nantaba Musisi. Time for the agenda, and like I said earlier, we are talking about the state of the roads in Uganda with the Ministry of Works and Transport, and to do that with me is Engineer Rachel Ngonzebwa, who is the Assistant Commissioner Road Maintenance at the Ministry of Works and Transport, and we also have Engineer Daniga, who is the Principal Civil Engineer, Road Construction and Rehabilitation. Now, to be a part of the conversation, 0709-602-592. Good morning, Engineer Dan.
Good morning.
Thank you so much for coming through.
It's a pleasure to be here.
Good morning, Engineer Rachel.
Good morning to you.
Thank you so much for being here.
You're welcome. It's a pleasure.
Right.
Good morning, viewers.
Yes, indeed. And let's dig straight into it. I'll start with Engineer Dan, and let's look at what is usually on the hearts of many Ugandans. We have seen the groundbreaking of new road projects in this country, and it happens every now and again. And we've seen several projects that are supposed to have been completed from the time, at least we saw in the news, that the ground has been broken, but you notice that the progress is slow. What is the ministry doing? Why is the ministry or the government focusing on the completion of these projects? What exactly is happening?
Okay, thank you very much, Julie, and all our viewers today. I bring you greetings from the Ministry of Works and Transport. All of us are aware that there was a mainstreaming and a merger of the functions, and because of that, there's a new department called the Department of National Roads, which hosts a division of road construction and supervision and rehabilitation. Our mandate is basically to develop and rehabilitate road projects across the country. And like you've rightly stated, there's been quite a number of projects recently that we have broken ground on, and the public seems to wonder what is the status of the ongoing projects. Now, the Ministry of Works is mandated to implement projects aimed at improving connectivity, unlocking economic potential, and enhancing service delivery. And because of this, we undertake feasibility studies and we monitor the road condition across the entire country. We have about 38 ongoing projects that are currently being constructed. However, to unlock the country's economic potential, there is need to reach out to some areas that have not yet had access to road upgrading. It's for this reason that in our annual procurement plan as a ministry, we set out to start on a number of new projects. We are guided by the National Development Plan 4 and the NRM Manifesto and Cabinet directives. So in execution of our mandate, there are definitely projects and areas that need to have connectivity. Our focus as a department is on the national roads. So you've seen in the recent past we've broken ground on about 4 or 5 projects. We have broken ground on the Bale Galilaya Road, which is in a dire state and urgently needs reconstruction. We have broken ground on Lusalira Nkonge, which is the road that connects Mubende to Sembabule, Chihura, Ramwanja, Kahunge, and Bwizi Mpara. and a number of other projects. In us taking on these measures, we are also mindful of the current state of the road construction projects. I've highlighted that we have about 38 projects scattered across the country, and as a ministry we are focused on ensuring that these roads are completed within time, within budget, and to the right standards. So construction is going on, and as you move out there you will see our teams scattered across trying to do the very best. So we are not leaving behind the roads that we started on, but we need to continue and also take on other new projects in line with the National Development Plan.
Right. Yes. And staying with you, Engineer Dan, one, a Ugandan and an ordinary Ugandan, Muntua, once you actually pays the taxes, would want to understand in all layman language that, yes, as the constructions for new ones or the groundbreaking of new ones is going on, wouldn't it make a lot of sense for you to first complete what is already at hand and then break ground after completing what is already at hand?
Yes. Definitely. However, the number of bottlenecks, we've been seeing rains creating havoc across the country. There are areas of this country that are cut off and have no access, and there is need to urgently address these issues. What we do as a ministry is, first of all, projects go through the entire project cycle, and the project cycle starts from designing and undertaking feasibility studies, and based on these we scope out projects that are viable and prepare these projects. Now, at the time you see a project going for groundbreaking, it means it is ready. There's financing available for that project. The project makes economic sense to the country, and it is critical to addressing challenges in the country's economy. That is the reason why you're continuing to see some new projects coming on board. But like I've said, we have strengthened our contract management. Following the RAPEX, there were growing concerns because of limited interventions across the country. But we are committed to business continuity, and right now most of our contractors have resumed works, and as you go out there you will see them active. As a division of road construction and rehabilitation, our short-term focus is on ensuring that most of our roads are motorable. So we have urged all our contractors across the country to undertake urgent forward maintenance as they pick up and resume works for those that had stopped. So we are definitely monitoring, and our teams are out there in the field and ensuring that we have all the ongoing projects completed within time and as per the projections we've given you. Of course, we have challenges, but those the ministry is handling.
Right.
Thank you.
That is Engineer Dan Yiga. He is the Principal Civil Engineer of Road Construction and Rehabilitation at the Ministry of Works and Transport. To be a part of the show, 0709602592. But he is not alone with me. With me is also Engineer Rachel Ngonzebwa, who is the Assistant Commissioner Road Maintenance at the Ministry of Works and Transport. Coming to you, Engineer Rachel, what interventions have been put forward by the government and by the ministry at the moment to ensure that at least roads that are under construction, the process and the works, the process does not come to a halt?
Thank you so much. Good morning once again, viewers. As Engineer Dan had mentioned before, just now, the ministry is undertaking very many projects at the moment. And road maintenance is key in this country. It is the center of which the economy runs, and the ministry has put a lot of focus on road maintenance. We have ongoing projects, maintenance projects that are ongoing, and they are not at halt as per se. What is happening right now, we have a challenge of the rains that have come in. The rains have disrupted our works, but nevertheless, the ministry is on top of the game. We have our framework contractors that are currently on ground, and they are taking serious charge on making sure that our maintenance projects do not come to a halt. We have also our 23 stations that are across the country. They are undertaking works. We have Q1 funding. Recently, the government released Q1 funding, and these funds have actually helping us a lot in ensuring that we connect the country. So the projects are not as on hold as per se, but we are actually moving forward. We had a challenge of the rationalization a bit, putting people together, but now the ministry is on track. We are on track. We are channeling out all the projects that we need to ensure that we connect this country. We also have our manual maintenance contractors. This is what we call the routine manual maintenance, and these are doing a very good job. These are our frontliners, and immediately we have issues, they're on ground. Then we also have the framework contractors who have come in. Then we also have the force account, the stations. They are very busy, and they are actually making sure that we have our maintenance activities
moving on.
Moving on,
Right.
yes, yes.
Let me just engage a couple of the comments coming through. Good morning, Uganda.
Okay.
The ministry is not considering Zombo district at all. Yet for so many years, I think that's what you meant, yet for so many years, the people are pleading to the ministry that the roads in Zombo are so impassable. Why don't we have an answer? This is Robert who is bringing in this question, and indeed it would bring me to ask you, Engineer Dan, are there prioritizing plans? What's the plan exactly for which roads come first and which come next, in addition to what Robert is asking from Zombo?
Okay, thank you very much. What do we base on to prioritize these projects that we are undertaking? Now, as a ministry, we are guided by the National Development Plan, and we have just concluded the 3rd National Development Plan, and we are progressing into the 4th National Development Plan. The projects that we have set out have been studied, and they have been planned throughout the stages from 1, the feasibility studies, to getting financing from Ministry of Finance and Planning, and designs have been undertaken. These follow a criteria that is thoroughly discussed and agreed to with Cabinet. The demand for road projects is definitely very high across the country, and that reminds me of the question you asked, why are we breaking ground for new projects, yet we have a number of projects ongoing? The priority is definitely the projects that make economic sense to the country, that unlock the potential that the communities have, potential in terms of the economy, agriculture, the number of justifications for these projects. So prioritization is definitely based on what are the urgent needs, what are the bottlenecks. In the recent past, you have seen us progressing to do a number of projects, bridge projects like the Seziwa Bridge. You have seen us doing the Katonga Bridge in response to emergencies across the country. So we have to really know that the prioritization is done based on the most critical needs of the country, and the demand for these road projects is very high. As a ministry, we faced with a challenge of financing for these projects. We have very many projects that are in the procurement cycle right now. We are undertaking procurements on about 15 plus new projects. However, for us to confirm these projects, there's need for financing to be confirmed. And that is one of the challenges that government is working around the corner to address in the interim to enable us undertake more projects. We want to thank Ministry of Finance and the President for prioritizing the sector, and we hope we shall get more allocations.
Right. Thank you so much, Engineer Dan. You are watching UBC TV, and the number is 0709602592 for you to be a part of the conversation and ask all the questions that you need to ask as the road user of the roads in Uganda. Let me come to you, Engineer Rachel. What interventions are being put in place to enable cost-benefit effect as these roads are being constructed and planned for in Uganda?
Thank you so much. The ministry is having so many avenues in which we are trying to see that we reduce on the costs. One, we want to ensure timely intervention, maintenance. For example, periodic maintenance. If we could focus on periodic maintenance, that means we shall save costs in terms of rehabilitation and others. So we are looking at timely intervention, maintenance, and that is also going to routine mechanized. If you do timely intervention, you end up costing, you save a lot.
True.
Definitely. So the other issue is procurement. We want to enhance our timely initiations for the procurements. We identify our needs very fast. That one will help us procure in time, and definitely will save costs. We're also having research on some of the materials that we are using in road construction. That one will help us. You know, we have a good, we have our laboratory in Chireka. So we have that approach. If we get good materials, durable materials, construction materials, it means that we shall definitely improve on our savings in terms of costs.
Right.
Then also the interventions and our designs. The ministry definitely has a very good team of engineers that are undertaking designs in-house. This one also will also help in terms of reduction of costs. And we also have a construction unit in the ministry. So this construction unit actually is doing a very good job. Where we do have a contractor, you find them coming in very fast and fixing most of the roads, like they have fixed Gayaza Kalaji. And I think those are some of the few measures that the ministry is actually doing to improve on the, reduce on the costs.
Right.
Thank you.
Yes, please.
And just to add, there is one very big burden that the ministry is faced with in executing most of these projects, and that is the cost of land acquisition. One of the major delay factors that we are faced with is the very high cost of acquiring land across the upgrading projects. Now, one thing that we are taking with the guidance of our minister is to optimize and reduce on the right of way. Right now we've been acquiring about 50-meter corridors for all our ongoing projects, and that has significantly raised the cost of acquiring this land, because you end up affecting much more structures, you end up impacting much more people. Now what we are doing is we are optimizing to reduce the corridor to about 30 meters, or the land that is required for these road projects. And that will significantly reduce the cost of acquisition of projects by over 40%. That is a measure that we've taken on. And another, to enhance the procurement processes, is we are doing a detailed unit cost analysis. One question that has been asked is, why is our unit cost so high? And many times people ask, what is the unit cost of undertaking these roads? So we, as a ministry, we have commenced on a unit cost study, and we are benchmarking on our neighbors, and we hope we can standardize and have uniform rates that will be applied across the country and across different contractors.
Right.
Yes.
Let me stay with you, Engineer Dan. Engineer Rachel talked about a construction unit that's within now the ministry. Has this unit taken on any projects that found lacking engineers or constructors to handle them?
Yes. The reliance of our construction industry has been entirely on contractors, and for us as a ministry and as National Roads, we've been relying mostly on foreign-based contractors who have the capacity, the resources, and that has led us into a number of challenges. Now, to address these challenges, an in-house construction unit has been established, and this is already undertaking a number of projects. At the moment, it is acting as a fast response team for urgent road interventions, particularly where access is threatened, public mobility is at risk, or where an area has been cut off. We saw what was happening in Mabira. Every time it rained, the road was totally impassable, and whenever there was an accident, long traffic queues would build up. So the in-house team has already kicked in and has undertaken works in Mabira. It has undertaken works on Gayaza-Kalaji Road, and we are now moving fast to start works on the Mubende-Chege-Gwachenjojo Road. We all know how bad that section is, and we are currently scoping and mobilizing the equipment. So our expectation is that we shall move in and handle those issues, as we also plan for other areas. We have also had only one construction unit, which is fully fledged with all the equipment and personnel, and we are now moving into setting up a second construction unit so that we have two fully operational, functional construction teams to respond to the network requirements across the country.
Right.
Yes.
You are watching UBC TV, the agenda on Good Morning Uganda, and we are looking at the state of roads in Uganda with the Ministry of Works and Transport. And to do that with us, to have this conversation in depth with us, is Engineer Rachel Ngonzebwa, who is the Assistant Commissioner, Road Maintenance at the Ministry of Works and Transport, and Engineer Daniga, Principal Civil Engineer, Road Construction and Rehabilitation. Now let me engage some of your comments coming through. And Ronald Okum from Dokolo is asking, why when you start road works, it takes a few years to get finished, and right after it gets done, it gets spoiled immediately. Do you make the standard of road projects? This goes to you, Engineer Rachel.
Thank you. Why the road gets spoiled?
Oh yeah, it's immediately after it's completed.
That one we need to first verify whether it is actually true that it gets spoiled very fast. But otherwise, for us as technical people, we know that we design roads for sustainability, and we ensure that whatever is specified in the road design is actually implemented. And we also have a good supervision team normally on our projects. We ensure that they are well supervised. We ensure that the consultants or the project management team is capable and they are professional. So we don't normally have this, we don't have this in mind that they are going to get spoiled or what, but I don't think that as a technical team we experience this kind of thing. But what I can say is we also have a challenge in our communities where we have had, for example, if we have our maintenance manuals and we say that we should make sure that we do not have solid waste blocking our drains. We ensure that we have our road signage. We ensure that we use the roads. They should be used very well. For example, if you have a truck carrying maybe steel, So you find them moving still on the road, damaging the road, and something that starts small as a damage with the weather, it somehow ends up creating a very big pothole, for example, from something very small.
Right.
So it's the way also the way we use these roads that
are
affect.
there guidelines that are, I don't know, sensitizations of some sort given
yes.
to Ugandans as to which cars are supposed to use which roads? And because I think now that's where the problem is, like you've mentioned clearly, that as the technical team, you do not have this in mind, that the road will eventually get spoiled almost immediately after completion. But we've seen this happen. The road has been commissioned for use, and in the shortest time possible, you start seeing cracks, you start seeing potholes, you start seeing, which ends up with a heartbreak for Ugandans that the ministry, probably there was some form of corruption, or the contractor was a fake contractor. You know, all of that, the procurement process, someone must have eaten some money. There's all of that conversation. So when you paint the picture of road usage, perhaps it is the problem, but are there sensitization campaigns for Ugandans that this car is supposed to use this road? This vehicle cannot use this road. If you caught, maybe the law will handle you. I don't know. Is there anything of that sort?
Yes, we've had sensitizations through our road committees.
Right.
We have road committees throughout the country, and that's an avenue where we actually sensitize our people, especially the leaders. But we also do some engagements, not necessarily through the road committees, at lower level, where we inform our people through the road gangs and inform them of how to protect the road asset. So we need to ensure that the road asset is well protected. We have to ensure that we control the solid waste that is coming into our drainage system, in the trenches. Then we also have to ensure that our road furniture is actually is also protected. So those are some of the challenges that we have in terms of road usage, and that normally creates early failure for the roads, and it creates a perception that probably the roads were not maybe not in well constructed. But I can assure you that the ministry has competent teams, and our contractors out there, they're doing a good job, and we have a good supervision team. Right. And we expect the best out of it. Thank you.
Right, thank you very much, Engineer Rachel. Coming to you, Engineer Dan, somebody was asking that this whole idea of having to start on new roads while the old ones are still, the old projects are still ongoing, isn't it what's failing maintenance? That's their question.
Okay. Maintenance interventions vis-a-vis the new projects. Now, I wanted to throw more light on some of our projects. One, we undertake multi-year projects because some of these projects are designed for a lifetime, for a construction period of about 36 months, which is about 3 years. And the number of factors that must be kept for us to have these projects executed within that time. One, there should be adequate budgetary provisions for these projects. And there's been a challenge there. Then I hinted on land acquisition earlier, which is also a leading factor. Then also the capacity of some of our contractors. So those three factors work hand in hand. Now, we definitely need new projects, but one area which we've not done well is in rehabilitating some of the infrastructure we have built over the years. A lot of emphasis has been on road upgrading, and these roads are designed for a specific design life. For most of our roads, our design life ranges between 10 to 20 years, depending on the interventions we have. And most times people don't realize that this time goes by very fast. And part for us to ensure that that design life is kept, the maintenance regimes and the funding towards maintenance is also a critical factor. As of now, we are mainly doing reactive maintenance because of the different failures we are having in different areas. But we need to have,
just to help a viewer, what is reactive maintenance?
Basically responding to where the needs are, because of budgetary constraints here and there. So one thing that we need definitely as a country and as a ministry we are paying a lot of focus on is some of the roads that have recently been constructed and are nearing the end of their design life. Roads like Mitiana Mubende, Arua Nebi, Mbara Ishaka, Mbara Ivanda, Mubende Chenjojo. We are turning our focus also towards rehabilitating some of these roads to avoid the premature failures and to improve on the road condition across the country. Engineer Rachel talked about the road use. As a ministry, we have a department, a division that is in charge of protecting our road infrastructure, and we are intensifying in terms of axle load control. We are now coming up with mobile weight bridges to support our fixed weight bridge stations so that we can curb the misuse of roads. We have seen a lot of sand drivers, big trucks that use our roads and they load without any limitations. So we are going to intensify and also do more stakeholder engagement to ensure that yes, as a ministry we do our part in maintenance, but also the public uses the roads appropriately.
Right.
Maybe.
Yes, please, Engineer Rachel.
Just to add on, in terms of maintenance, what we are doing now, because of the rains, we are coming in. But we have a work plan, a maintenance work plan. We have a maintenance cycle on how we are going to ensure that the asset is protected. We have a strategy as a ministry that is going to deal with the maintenance of these roads. And as you know that in maintenance you cannot, even if you develop and you do not maintain the infrastructure, it's like you will have you will have a setback. So you may end up losing the asset because of maintenance. So the ministry is really giving a priority towards maintenance. Right now we are having the floods coming in, but that is just for a short period. But we have a longer plan of ensuring that the road assets are well maintained all through the year.
Right.
Yes, yeah.
You talk about it, and you remind me of this practical example of what I usually see, especially with roads here in Kampala, where a road has been constructed, and after a short while, potholes start to carve in. And then you notice that there's a construction of just a particular pothole, where there are cuttings and just to patch that pothole. And of course, with many conversations on the ground, you hear things like, why don't they probably construct a whole new road and one that is long-lasting? Why should they give us patches every now and again? Would you speak into that, especially to an ordinary Ugandan who doesn't understand the technical part of why it ends up like that, why that is done?
Okay, that one is under KCCA.
Oh, okay.
But normally it is not, I will not speak to that, because if they are doing it there. But what I can say is normally when we have some projects, we normally have what we call the defects liability. We have the snags. You have to identify such that we ensure that we have proper specifications that have been designed and constructed. So it is not that the asset is not okay. No, we are trying to investigate so that we have a good asset, and if we have a defect, it is always important that it is actually corrected. It is part of construction.
Right.
Yes, it is part of construction to ensure that you correct the defects, and then so that you have a good asset. The only thing is that you have to make sure that at least you don't have a very big percentage. Like if you have a road of maybe 10 kilometers and then you have 8 kilometers full of, then there is a bigger problem. But normally these are really isolated cases that are manageable. Yeah.
Right. Did you want to add to that, Engineer Dan?
Yes. The number of maintenance interventions that we undertake First, when you complete a new project, you do what you call routine maintenance. And in routine, Engineer Rachel spoke about it earlier, you're basically helping avoid defects on the project. So you keep monitoring the road and you do things like grass cutting, cleaning up the drainages, because water is one of the major leading causes of failures of roads, but also where you have some surface failures, or not failures per se, but there's ponding and potholes come up, you want to arrest them, because most times they are surface, they're on the surface. And if you leave it isolated for a long time, then it becomes deeper and it ends up eating into your pavement. So pothole patching is one of the maintenance interventions that we undertake to ensure that we keep our road or our wearing course free from damage, because once it opens up, water will enter and slowly it will eat into the layers and disintegrate. So yes, pothole patching is one of those on major roads. But then we also have the periodic maintenance interventions, where you now do what you call spot improvements. For example, you could, out of a 10-kilometer road, you could have a section of about 200 meters which is failing, so you can reconstruct that section. And for most of our roads, we've been doing surface dressing previously and not asphalt concrete. So in most of the developed countries, you will see that after 3 to 5 years, you now come with a new layer and place on the road to improve its durability and its strength. So these are some of the maintenance interventions that we are planning as a ministry to undertake, and more focus is now going to be placed on maintenance vis-a-vis the new construction, like you earlier asked.
Right, very interesting things that you learn and relearn. Many a times as road users we complain a lot without knowing about the technical facts behind what we see. We just complain and complain and complain. Sometimes it's easier to ask and understand than to complain. I think I'm learning. Engineer Dan, how many kilometers are projected for tarmacking according to the ministry that it's to be added onto the national road network?
Okay, thank you very much. You will forgive me, but I'll keep mentioning the National Development Plan.
Right.
And the NDP4 has set out the targets that the ministry has to achieve. And this information is openly accessible for all of us. So for the next 5 years, we've been given targets and outputs that we should achieve. And as the department in charge of national roads, we're expected to achieve 160 equivalent kilometers of road upgrading for strategic roads. That is from gravel to paved or the bitumen roads, the tarmac roads. Then we are supposed to also reconstruct about 100 kilometers of roads that are in a bad condition at the moment. So in total, our target as per the NDP4 is about 260 kilometers that we shall achieve. And what will be the implication? We shall increase on the paved national road network by about 20% when we do that, and we shall reduce the average travel time that Ugandans have to use to get to their destinations to about 3.5 hours per kilometer. So,
right.
Yes.
Thank you very much. Engineer Rachel, what would be your parting shot as to the state of the roads in Uganda?
Thank you so much. What I would tell the viewers is the ministry is currently focusing on maintenance across the country. Right now we have a challenge of floods. I request people and travelers not to use roads that are flooded. Let them be calm and wait for the floods to recede. Then our teams, immediately the floods go down, our teams will definitely come in and assess the damage, and after which we shall make good. And also I would want to inform our viewers that our stations across the country. We have 23 stations across the country. They are very busy undertaking maintenance works. They are restoring collapsed embankments. They are working on some of the roads that have been affected. We also have framework contractors who are on ground right now. And I think with the way the government has insisted on putting focus on maintenance, I believe in the next few years, with this approach and with the increased funding to the maintenance department in the ministry, I'm hoping to see a very big change in this country in terms of accessibility, connectivity, and even reducing on costs, maintenance costs, and I think that will be good for this country. I thank you.
Right. Thank you so much, Engineer Rachel. Engineer Dan, what would be your parting shot?
Okay, thank you very much. Of course, the Department of National Roads is relatively new following the merger and mainstreaming of the functions of the former Uganda National Roads and Road Fund into the ministry. And as one of our short-term or low-hanging fruits is business continuity management. And as a department, we have put emphasis on immediately deploying all the right staff to the right projects. So we have deployed all staff to the projects and we have assigned duties. And so the gap that has been there is now closed. Many people out there, especially the project affected persons, have in the past been complaining that they can't see our teams. Now, we are also going on a nationwide tour on our project, introducing all new teams so that they are well known by the communities out there. And we have also profiled all the critical issues in our projects, and we are immediately addressing this. Emphasis is being put on urgent forward maintenance. We know that a few of our contractors have still not resumed works for a number of reasons, but we are urging them to ensure that these roads are at least maintained to improve on the road condition. We're also paying a lot of attention to improving our visibility and the confidence of the stakeholders. Like you've highlighted, there's been a lot of agitations from the communities out there. So we have focal persons we are assigning on all our projects, and these focal persons will be there to listen to your pertinent issues. The number of issues to do with titling. When we come to land acquisition, people have been complaining that their titles have taken long to come back. Right. And in our short term, we are paying critical attention to ensuring that we subdivide and avail all residue titles for most of our projects. So that is an activity going on. And of course, to re-echo, we have established our in-house construction unit, but also the supervision unit. And where we have challenges, the team is going in to restore the road condition. And we are very hopeful that we shall turn around and improve the condition of our roads across the country. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. That is Engineer Dan. He is the Principal Civil Engineer, Road Construction and Rehabilitation at the Ministry of Works and Transport. And Engineer Rachel has been with us as well. Engineer Rachel Ngonzebwa, who is the Assistant Commissioner, Road Maintenance at the Ministry of Works and Transport. Thanking them for being a part of this show and informing us well enough on the safety of roads, on the state of roads in Uganda, but also thanking you the most for viewing and being a part of the show. Good Morning Uganda does continue. Ruben is coming up with the sports. A lot of sports action took place over the weekend, but also JMU Extra will be coming up. My name is Julie Nantabamsisi. Catch you tomorrow. Good morning.
My friend, I have made some good money today. It is time to relax and enjoy life.
Nice to hear that, Semu. Just give me some money.
Gino, let's go party. All the drinks and the muchomo are on me. I will crown the day with a babe to chill with before I return home. Let's enjoy ourselves. Life is too short.
You guys, you mean you want to take nothing home to your family? My friend, indulging in casual sex has become very risky and dangerous these days. There is HIV and what's still Mpox.
What are you saying, Gino? I use protection, a condom. Don't scare me.
Good. Condoms can protect you from HIV and other STIs, but not Mpox. If that person has the Mpox skin rash, he will also contract the disease Semu.
What?
Yes, Semu. And from there, you'll spread it to your loved ones, your lovely wife, and your children, who may suffer serious disease and even die.
Thanks, Gino. I heard about it earlier, but I just brushed it off as well. So I am cancelling this useless program and going home to my loved ones. Bye, Gino. Bye.
Good decision. You see, that is being responsible, Semu. Hey, by the way, before you go, just give me at least a 50K.
Mpox is real. Protect yourself and the loved ones. Stay safe and do not indulge in casual sex or other risky behaviors. For more information about Mpox, call the Ministry of Health toll-free line on 0800 1066 or send a free SMS to your report on 8500. This message is brought to you by the Ministry of Health with support from UNICEF, WHO, and its partners.
Live from UBC Studios in Kampala, this is Good Morning Uganda.